Hello all, welcome to our system design world. Today in this series, we are going to understand what is a REST API and what are the advantages of REST API and what are the limitations of REST API. Okay. Our goal is to build an e-commerce application for farmers by end of this system design series. This application is similar to Amazon application, so that we are going to take a reference of Amazon on each and every step. So without wasting time, let's jump into the topic and we should understand what is a REST API. I hope you already watched the previous sessions and you understand what is API and what are the architectural styles and what are the different frameworks available to implement API. If you didn't watch the previous session, I'm requesting you, please go and watch all the previous sessions so that it will be very easy for you to understand what we are discussing in today's session. Okay, thank you for that. And let's start discussing and learning REST API. So it looks like a theory this next 10 minutes, but this is the most valuable information, because without understanding fundamentals, we can't start building applications, right? So that, yes, fundamentals are very, very important. If you already know the fundamentals, yes, you can skip few minutes. Otherwise, try to watch the video completely so that at least you will understand, you will get a new points. So REST means representational state transfer. Okay. So what is representational, what is state and what is transfer? We are going to learn things in practically, because we should understand what is the meaning of state and what is the meaning of stateless. Okay. So here, the REST is the architectural style. If any API follows this REST principles, we can call it as a RESTful API. That's it. So please don't get confused between REST and RESTful API. Okay. As I said, if any API follows the REST principles, it will be a RESTful API. So what are those principles? What are those principles? What are the rules? It is a client server. We should have a client and server, and client and server, that request and response should maintain stateless architecture. So we should understand what is a stateless. So let me explain what is stateless in 1 minute. And of course, in coming sessions, we are going to learn in detail. So here, understand carefully, this client is not going to remember any information about the server. And server is not going to store any information about the client. This is the one characteristics of the stateless. And suppose you have sent a request to the server for products. Okay. And you got the response from the server. That is one request and response cycle. And after that, you send another request to the server. Another request to the server. And you got the response. So this first request and response cycle, okay, this is the first one and this is the second one. Okay, these two are independent. These two should be independent. That means this request and response should not depend on the first request and response cycle. This is the meaning of stateless. That means the client and server should not store any information. Suppose client should not store any information about the server, server should not store any information about the client, and each and every request and response cycle should be independent. So that we can call it as a stateless. Okay, I hope you got a simple idea. We can discuss and we can learn in a practical way. Don't worry about it. And cacheable means, you know, like caching, right? If you don't know, don't worry. I will explain in coming sessions. And uniform interface layered system, we can discuss in coming sessions. So these are the principles API should follow, so that we can call it as a RESTful API. And many of you who are already have at least little bit of experience, you are familiar with HTTP methods. That is, a get is for read data and post for creating data, put is for update and patch is updating the information. Partially delete is for removing or deleting the data. Here I want to tell you one important thing. So in last 6 months, I took lots of interviews and I asked the question that what is the difference between put and patch. The person who is attending interviews, okay, I asked this question to them. More than 50% of the candidate didn't answer properly for the simple question. What is the difference between put and patch? Really, I'm telling you. I don't know the reason. Why? They are saying that I have 3 years of experience and 4 years of experience, but they are not able to answer what is the difference between put and patch. So maybe they are not focusing on the fundamentals. That's why they are not able to answer simple questions. Okay? Please, you should not do the mistake. Don't learn any concept just only for interview. Please try to learn the concepts to understand those internals properly. So if you want to build any large application, you should have a strong fundamental knowledge. So please respect the fundamentals. So, and many of you know about this get, post, put and patch and delete, but very few people are aware of a method, options and head and connect. So we are going to learn those things. So without wasting time, just do some research and let me know in the comment section what is the importance of options, head and connect. And everyone is familiar with status code, but a few students have a confusion between client error codes and server error codes. Okay, sometimes what is the meaning of 200 series and what is the meaning of 100 series, right? So 400, if any error code starts with 400, it blindly you should understand that it's a client error, and if it starts with a 500 series, that is a server error. Okay, 200 is for success, 100 is for information, and 300 series is for redirection. Redirection means suppose if you are opening any link related to YouTube from LinkedIn application. So whenever you are clicking on LinkedIn, it is going to redirect to the YouTube. So right. So there is redirection is happening, right? In those situations, we will use 300 status codes. Okay, and there is another important situations are there. We are going to discuss in detail. And I'm going to explain few important topics we should focus and we are going to focus. What is idempotency? Okay, this is very important interview question and this is very important topic we should discuss. And what are the safe methods? This is a simple question. Okay, and the statelessness already we understand. And what is the importance of statelessness? Why REST is very popular? Because we can scale this REST API very easily. Because it is a statelessness, it is not going to depend each and every request and response cycle is not going to depend on other request and response cycle. So that we can scale it easily. And server is not going to remember any information about the client. Client is not going to remember any information about the server. So that because of these characteristics, we can scale it very easily. And you can ask the question, Raghu, what is scaling? So whenever we build an application, initially suppose we have 100 users. And suppose Amazon is there on big billion days, there will be huge traffic. Lakhs of customers are going to, lakhs of users are going to try to purchase the products on a single time slot. So at the time, how to handle that traffic? So that our server should able to answer all the requests, right? So that we should scale it up. That means for millions of users. So we should learn all those things. So that is the importance of system design. We should learn all these things in system design. And load balancing. So if you have multiple servers and how we are going to share the traffic between the servers with the help of load balancing, and what is fault tolerance, what is a better caching. So we can achieve all these things because REST is a stateless protocol. REST is stateless. And some important concepts. I hope you already familiar and some of you are not familiar, but please focus, at least list down these important topic. What is the resource, URI, URL? Tell me what is the difference between URI and URL? What is the difference between query parameters and path parameters? What is a pagination? This is the most important entry question. And this is the most important topic in REST API. Of course, filtration, sorting, searching, hopefully you are familiar with, and how we are going to achieve the versioning, how we are going to build versioning for a REST API, and why we need to do versioning. What is versioning? Why we need to do versioning? What are the advantages? We are going to learn. What is a pre-flight request? This is one interesting topic and interesting entry question as well. What is the content negotiation? What are the e-tags? What is cache control? What is rate limiting? So we should understand each and everything. And the most important thing, how can we secure the REST APIs? So one way is we can use HTTPS protocol, and we can implement authorization with the help of JWT, and we can use OAuth, or we can apply the rate limiting, input validation, and we can protect our REST API from SQL injections and XSS attacks. And whenever we have any problem with the course, we should resolve that, and we should understand what is the course. Of course, we understand what is the course policy and how can we resolve the course error little bit. And the most important topic, that is API gateway. We should understand. We are going to learn all these things. And what makes a REST API is good, means good REST API. Means it should follow some standards, it should follow some naming conventions, so that it will be good. Okay, we are going to learn all those things right now. Okay, we don't need to spend time on that at this particular moment. And here the most important thing. Okay, I'm telling you, many people already aware of REST API, but when it comes to the interview, they are going to face lots of problems, because in interviews they will ask scenario based questions. Whenever interviewer asks scenario based interview questions on a particular topic, it will be very difficult if you don't practice or if you don't learn in a practical way. So I will ask few questions. I just list down few important scenario based questions. Just let me know how many topics, how many scenarios you are familiar with. Design a REST API for e-commerce application. That's what we are going to learn. That's what we are going to build and design the REST API for our e-commerce application. That is e-commerce application for the formats. Can you do that? How do you implement pagination for millions of records? How can we scale up our REST API for millions of users? This is a very important scenario based question. And another interesting question is, so how do we prevent a duplicate order creation if a client retries a request multiple times? Suppose if a client clicked on that button multiple times, 3 times at a time. So you got 3 requests to the server. That means there is a chance of duplication, right? So at the time, how you are going to prevent to create the duplicate orders? Very interesting question. So already I told you that many people are not able to answer the difference between the put and patch. Okay, this is enough. So if you start discussing, like, there will be lots of entry questions on all those things, but we are going to learn all these fundamentals, not theoretically, practically, because we are going to build it, and in that process we can discuss where we are going to use get, where the post is important, when we need to use put, when we are going to use the patch, while we are deleting, what are the precautions we need to take care, and what is the importance of options, hide and count, and what are the different status codes. All these concepts we are going to learn. Are you ready to learn all these things in detail, in a practical way? If yes, just let me know in the comment section. And even you can share this information in the LinkedIn, just add a LinkedIn post and tag me, so that I will understand that, okay, you are learning and you are in the right direction. Okay. That's all for this session. And in the next session, we are going to implement the CRUD operations using our HTTP methods. So in the last session, we understand how to use the get method. Okay, we are going to use all the remaining HTTP methods, and we are going to test those things using a postman, and we are going to send a request from the client to the server, and we can build a simple application like a CRUD operations application. Are you ready to learn? This is just a beginning. I'm telling you this is just a beginning, because we need to build an e-commerce application for the formats. So whatever we are learning, this is like we are focusing on the fundamentals. Once we are good at fundamentals, then we can speed up. Okay, thank you, and see you in the next session. In the next session, we are going to build the CRUD operations using a REST API. Thank you. Bye bye.